All right, the first item is the Zoom meeting information. Moving forward. If there are members of the public who'd like to speak, please do let a commission member know which item you'd like to speak for if you haven't already filled out a comment card. Next, we will move on to the roll call. Chair is currently vacant. Vice Chair Ned Dorf, myself, Jenny Brinker.
Present.
Thank you. Amy Cox. I'm not sure. I didn't hear anything and I can't see.
Not present.
Not present. Okay. Thank you. We've got Corey Mim,
Present.
Julia Nordyke,
Present.
Mark Walter,
Present.
Alder Joey Presley,
Present.
Krista Kainanen,
Present.
and Daniela Beal.
Present.
All right, with that, we do have quorum and we can move into item C. Approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. I'm sorry, I didn't see who that was.
Joey.
All right, Alder Presley. Is there a second?
I'll second. Corey.
Thank you. Thank you, Corey. All right, any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 And any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Moving onward to item D, approval of the minutes from August 21st, 2024. Is there a motion on this item?
I'll move for approval.
Okay, motioned by Mark Walter.
Second. Daniela.
Sorry, seconded by whom?
Daniela.
Thank you, Daniela. And is there any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 And any opposed? All right, the minutes are approved. Moving into item E, regular business. Item number 1 is to elect Krista Kainanen as chair, effective immediately. Is there a motion on this item?
I make a motion to approve.
That's moved by Jenny Brinker.
I second.
I believe that was Julia.
Yes, sorry.
All right, any discussion on this item?
Do you know what you're getting into?
No. We're gonna have to. No.
No.
We've had some discussion. No, yes, we have had discussions. Do I fully know what I'm getting into? No. Word on the street is, it's what I make of it.
Great.
Thanks.
This might be a good time, Melissa, to just educate the public on the role of the chair, maybe in just a short summary of what Krista's getting into.
Sure, well, the role of the chair primarily, on a month-to-month basis is to run meetings and to set the agenda for each monthly meeting, working with your assigned staff person and other members of the commission. So all agenda items flow through Krista. And the staff person is copied on that. And then if there are items that need to be discussed or, delegated, that's your role as well, finding members for the work groups if if somebody drops out. You can also make suggestions to the mayor for reappointments. I would say that is, and keeping with work plan. Keeping to the work plan, vetting things as they come through on the agenda, things are recommended for the agenda. Do they coincide with our work plan? Things of that nature. So that would be my take on the chairperson's responsibilities. And keeping tasks on the meetings as well.
Thank you for that explanation, Melissa. Any other discussion on this particular item? All right, then with that, we will take the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And any opposed? Okay, that item carries unanimously. Krista Kainanen, you are our new chair. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Krista, this is where I guess I would hand off the meeting to you then, unless you need me to continue. I can do either way.
You just feel free to weigh in, and well, let me know. Appropriate workflow. Okay, so thank you very much all and for carrying the torch today, Ned. Next up on the agenda is to approve the addition of a youth engagement work group. We have a proposed amendment to the work plan. It's in your packets. Melissa, do you want to bring it up?
You don't have it queued up,
Okay, that's totally
but
fine.
I can try to find it real quick.
Is it useful if I read it out? Can folks find it in the meeting? Any
You can
requests?
read it while I look.
Sure. I'm zooming between 37 and 300%. Okay. Let's see, the work plan. So, a couple of minor amendments, such as taking Seth off of the clean energy work group. Love to keep him on, but alas. So that's just a housekeeping item. But in terms of the youth engagement group, okay, so I'm just gonna read it as it is written now. The goal is to foster youth participation in sustainability initiatives, ensuring the next generation is informed and empowered to take action on local sustainability issues. Research data and evidence includes studies on youth engagement and climate activism and existing youth sustainability programs in other municipalities. Actions would include meeting routinely with a youth advisory council to provide input on sustainability initiatives and represent the voices of local students and youth to the commission. Partner with local schools and youth organizations to promote sustainability education and connect local youth to volunteer opportunities to participate in sustainability efforts. Target dates would be establish a quarterly meeting cadence with the newly formed Youth Action Council in 2025. Partners would include local schools, higher education institutions, youth organizations, and the Green Bay Conservation Forum. I'm kind of capturing, I know there's an existing like clean energy work group and some Green Bay Public School District environmental groups. So kind of capturing that in with the local schools aspect. Funding sources, grants as needed, but primarily volunteer program. And then point people would be me and Ned. And there is an open spot if anyone else would like to participate. I think we can have up to 3. That is the proposed amendment. Do we have a motion to adopt? Is that right, Melissa? We'll get the next
Motion to approve the,
or discussion, any discussion.
Well, we can move to approve first and second it, and then we can discuss. So I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Great. Do I need to note that anywhere or do you do that, Melissa?
that's what I'm doing.
Awesome, thank you. That's good. Open the floor for any discussion. I mean, we need to vote on it first?
If there's no, then you can move to a vote.
We discuss first, okay. Open the floor for discussion.
I just think it would be a great addition to the work plan and I support it. So I think what you've laid out and presented would be, like I said, a great addition to what we're doing here and I think trying to get accomplished, so.
Are there already connections with youth that I think this might have been at the last meeting, but can you remember?
Yeah, absolutely. So there was a local high school student who reached out to the mayor with some ideas around sustainability initiatives. he pointed her to me in this group. She had a lot of ideas, and it prompted the concept of having kind of a formal channel for youth. So yes, she and her faculty advisor are currently recruiting and forming a youth advisory council that will be the group we formally meet with, and once they have kind of a core formed, I think we'll be making sure it's well-rounded. So that other voices outside of maybe her circle are also represented.
Yeah, so what's the expected interaction between the Sustainability Commission and is it is there a youth action council and a youth? I'm just looking through the.
Youth advisory
Yeah,
and youth engagement.
Yeah, so I actually think Ned might know a little bit more what some of the existing groups are. This would be a way to bring some of those existing groups together, and on our side of it, what we would, as the commission or as the work group would be committing to is meeting with that delegation. So there are various groups. This would be kind of centralizing it to give those groups a voice on the commission. So really our commitment as the work group would be meeting with the youth representatives.
and then doing some report outs. Well, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, it would be really to get their input and then bring opportunities to them. If we were gonna do like a cleanup, I know we did a few of those last year, like partnering with the Green Bay Conservation Corps, for example. So we could then take those opportunities to the youth group as well.
Would we also be trying to actively like share this opportunity with other, I guess, with the partners of, you know, local schools and youth organizations? Or are we kind of leaving that to them to do outreach?
Largely leaving it to them. What we've committed to, what we would commit to is to say, we'll meet with you and give you like a voice on the commission. That'd be the primary thing. I think there will likely be practically some support in helping them organize. But I would say that's not a formal commitment we would be making, just kind of a reality, probably.
Okay.
Are any of the members of the public, can we open the floor to the public if anyone
If,
is?
if they're, if
Is
that's what
anyone
they're
here to speak to that?
Sometimes people just come to listen.
Maybe we should have asked that before you voted on me. Ned, is there anything you want to weigh in on? I know you've been doing this work a lot longer, just coordinating with school.
Just give you a brief kind of history of the Public Schools Clean Energy Committee. It's something that we've had in the works for 4 years, and then we did end up finally getting together over this past year, and there are school parents, there are school staff involved, and then we have a couple students that come to our meetings. The meetings are held roughly once a month. There's not a regular meeting time. But then our meetings are then reported to the Green Bay School District Board of Education. One of the students who is on our committee is the student who contacted the mayor. So I'm hoping, you know, she will be a good conduit for both of our organizations. And yeah, the Green Bay area public schools casts a little wider net than the city of Green Bay. It includes Alloway and Bellevue and Thomas Scott. So, you know, some of those members may live outside the city of Green Bay boundaries, but I think that would be okay for a working group. And yeah, we have some work that we're doing with like an advisory group who is helping guide us through some major decisions as a district regarding clean energy and electrification right now. So that's what we're focusing on.
Would you be interested, Daniela, in being part of that group potentially to represent some of the higher end?
Potentially.
All right,
I
I'll
think
just
that's-
leave it out there.
Yeah.
You can think
Like maybe once the, I guess keep me in the loop.
Yeah.
When those meetings are and if I'm able to.
Sounds good. Great. Last call for discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
To oppose or an aye to yes? An aye is yes,
A
right?
nay would be no.
An nay would be no, okay. All right, sounds good, thank you. Work plan approved. Moving on to work group reports and member announcements. Any announcements or reports from work groups?
Really more of a question. For Julia, so at the last monthly meeting, you had made an announcement about scholarships for staff and electeds for the GI tour in Milwaukee.
Yes,
And I've had a couple of questions from staff. Is there an agenda for the 2 days yet? Because 2 days is kind of a tough haul. So if people could see like what's planned for day 1 versus day 2, they might come down for one or either or day, but not overnight.
okay,
And so I can't remember if that was sent out.
it's on the invite, but I can,
Okay.
we can give you like a more specific, I created a more specific agenda
Okay.
too.
Okay,
Yeah, I kind of have a feeling that might be some feedback, so,
yeah,
okay,
but generally
Yeah.
very,
I'll definitely.
very
provide that to you.
positive response
I
as
think-
far as like, this is a great idea, we want to do it, but
You know,
2 days is a lot.
you know what I would also like to do, and Corey gave me this idea, and we should have thought about this earlier, is having continuing education credits associated with it. So if you have any ideas, I don't know how to do that. I know how to, I've done it before with the planning association.
Right,
I don't think it's impossible, maybe. It's like definitely would be last minute, but
yeah.
I don't even know who to.
Hmm.
I don't know. Who
Yeah,
gives those
because it
out?
would make it more attractive then too.
Well, I mean,
you
I
know.
guess it depends on what the profession is.
Yeah, it
So
would be
a
for like
question-
engineering,
Yeah.
for sure, planning potentially too, so I could contact the.
And
planning
landscape
guys.
architect,
I think that could be great too, so,
Which they call laces, I can get you the information.
that would be great,
Okay.
I mean, it would definitely apply to lead for my credentials.
Oh,
for
really?
lead. Mhm.
okay, oh gosh.
But
So.
I can't go, I already told you, I'm not able to go.
Oh, you're not able to go, but,
Mm-mm.
okay.
No,
Okay,
we actually have a sustainability commission that night on Wednesday.
yeah,
And so
yeah,
since I have to be here, I can't be remote doing that. That's one reason why I'm not able to go.
okay, what,
I said there are a lot of other staff people that are interested in going.
okay,
For my group. You know, from the stormwater division, there are a few.
okay, let me talk to our planning team and see thoughts about that too.
Okay.
Did you have an idea about continuing education? No.
There's just so, when we first start planning it, there's some, the projects to go see, it would be hard in one day. Cause you'd have to leave it like very early and get back very late.
Okay.
Because I mean, it would take like 2 hours to get, it takes 2 hours to get there and then 2 hours back, so that's 4 hours of the day already.
Sure.
So but let me talk to our planning and see. I don't think you're probably the only ones thinking that. General. And I can get a more detailed agenda to you.
There might be staff from parks too who are interested in like just a 1-day opportunity. If there's none.
Okay. And people can come, I mean, you could organize a group maybe from the city that would go down for a day.
Mhm.
Ours is just like paid, everything's paid for, meals, transportation, you know, lodging.
Right, any other comments about that or other work group reports?
I'd like to just say something about the Healthy Habitat work group, and just give some credit to our Conservation Corps and the work Maria Otto and her crew have done this year over the summer to put in tens of thousands of native plants and to work with neighborhoods and parks all over the city to accomplish that. It's been a really good year for our, pollinator corridor. So just want to give them some credit.
And also the Green Bay Botanical Gardens who provided a lot of the plants for those plantings. So, thank you, Green Bay Botanic Gardens.
Absolutely. Thank you for saying that.
And I was just going to say that for anybody who's interested in becoming better educated on recycling, we've been offering master recycling classes for the last year and a half. 101, 201 have been done. We're going to go up to 401 where you become a certified master recycler, and we have to do a project and get out into the community. But there is a recycling 101 class being offered October 4th, 9:30 in the morning at the Wrightstown Library. If anybody is interested, it's open to the public. There's no cost. You can spend a couple of hours learning about the who, the what, the how of recycling, the chance to ask questions and go from there. This will be class, the third or fourth 101 class we've had. Two 201 classes, and I'm working on the next 2 levels. So,
What kind of turnout have you had for that?
well, it's all over, and we had one out at WGB, and we had 25 or so people there. We've had Nasha and Oshkosh, so because the 3 counties. So all told, about 50 people for the first level, and so far 20 or so have signed up for the next, have gone through the next level. And it'll get smaller as you go along, but third course is designed to be a tour of recycling, 201 or 301, tour of the recycling facility in Appleton. By the time you get to the last level, it's really, we're focusing on what the hard to recycle stuff, the stuff that's not curbside, that includes composting and electronics and batteries and oil and all the other weird things that you don't want to put in your curbside bin, but are actually recyclable. So focuses a lot more. The last 2 classes focus a lot more on that.
Are the classes being offered through the county or through extension? And who can they contact if they want to get involved?
Tri-countyrecycling.org. So it is the Tri-County Recycling. Well, that's our website, but Tri-County Recycling is what our 3 counties are part of.
Tri-countyrecycling.org.
Correct. That's the website, and there should be information right there and registration information. Otherwise, they can contact me. I will get information out. Cool. It's based on the concept that Dane County does. It's the only other county in the state that's doing this, and it's based on the concept of master recycler or master gardeners. You get to that point because there's only 3 of us representing 350,000 people in 3 counties. There's only 3 educators on recycling, so we'd like to have a few more. And this is the best way of doing it. You think? See how it goes.
What about like youth participants? Is that something, it's open to anybody?
It's open to anybody. Generally, right now, we are looking at probably starting to do another class But in the evening, we got one on the weekend, and that one was pretty well attended, because right now, most of them have been direct day. And that kind of limits who can go. So we are trying to get that expanded, but again, it's just the three of us who are doing it. So our schedule a little bit. Frankly, I don't like working nights or weekends, but I do it with, yeah.
So many responsibilities and no time, but I want to be a master recycler.
Happy to answer any and all the questions you have. It is, it's, yeah, it's something we need, people know more about. We have too many people who call wish cyclers, people who wish that they could recycle something, but it's actually not recyclable. And then you have to get it all around to that point of why can't you recycle everything?
So I have a question. From where I sit in our office here in City Hall, I hear phone calls coming in sometimes for people calling in saying, I want to recycle, can I recycle my big Rubbermaid tote bins? They don't fit normally, you know, like depending on how big they are. You know, a lot of people may have like old ones laying around that they've lost the lids or they're damaged in some way that make them unusable. What is the best way to recycle old plastic storage bins?
First of all, is it a Rubbermaid? And then it's rubber.
Well,
That's where its roots are.
No, I mean, it
Rubber's
could
not
be any,
Oh,
I use that like
we
the
call
term Kleenex.
We call them large rigid plastics. Truthfully, we take them at our drop-off recycling facility, and
Mhm.
they do take them in facility in Appleton. If they don't fit in your cart, you can just cut it up and throw it in the cart.
That's
pieces.
what my next question was, is if you cut them up.
Yes,
Okay,
as long as it's, well, odds are it's gonna be a number 2 plastic, and that would work. If
mhm,
it's anything else, probably not.
mhm.
If it's any other type of plastic, it probably won't be recyclable, but we can end up sorting some of the large stuff out. If you have a carload, the best thing to do is take the Appleton to the recycling facility, because then they keep them segregated.
Okay,
Large plastics don't go mixed in with any other size plastics, so.
Okay.
Milk jugs are the same, and laundry jugs are the same thing as totes. Same plastics, but they can't be mixed together and recycled, and manufacturers won't take that because they're a different composition. It's a different process. It gets
We all need 101.
plastics are very complicated, and they're, you know, 99.9% of all the plastics manufactured are not recyclable, which is the bottom line. We want to recycle them, but they're not. There are other things. University of Wisconsin-Madison has been working on chemical upcycling of waste plastics. QCUWP, there's a professor who's developed a process that's low energy to take plastics and turn it back into energy. A process to degrade it back into it's not really into petroleum, to use it as energy. And we had a very technical presentation on that to Council on Recycling. I got lost pretty quickly in terms of the chemistry. It supposedly works, and it's extensible from small projects to large projects, and it's much lower energy footprint than any of the current processes now. So anyway, there's just a lot.
interesting.
When you get into recycling plastic world, there's just a huge amount of information that
Mhm.
is hard to follow. It's complicated,
That's why people wish cycle.
and that is why people recycle, and that is why we, you know.
Because more people don't know cycle.
But I mean, just
I do
it's like complicated.
Well, wish that, you know,
I don't even know that.
well, all the stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that comes with asking the right questions and having.
Not Rubbermaid. That's what I
Well,
learned.
Rubber-
Rubber,
No,
it's made of rubber.
They're not anymore, but that's where we got the original name.
Oh, okay.
Being made from rubber, but totes in general are recyclable, but better kept out of your curbside bin. Even your curbside bins are recyclable.
Right.
They can, as long as they take off the wheels, we can actually, we get about one a week coming through our facility. They get a bunch down in Appleton. They recycle. They actually do have a ready market for those. So, yeah, I mean, we could.
What about corrugated plastic signs? And that's my last question.
Not
I like to
recyclable.
play this game.
Most of them are,
Stump the recycler.
yeah, most of them are made out of PVC, polyvinyl chloride, and PVC is really not recyclable anywhere that ever aware of.
Okay, so just keep reusing your normal May signs.
Absolutely, reuse. You know,
That's a higher form of waste diversion than recycling anyways.
yes, it's, you know, reduce, reuse and repair and reject before you get to recycle, so, yes.
I run for office again, I'm just gonna write in Sharpie, read.
Just RE. I like that.
I like that.
Are you working on anything to engage like the business community in getting the word out about?
Again, it's, you know, me and my two colleagues trying to work on this. Right now, we really, I mean, our focus is still mostly on the general public.
Okay.
Historically, we worked with business community, but we just don't have the resources to try to engage everybody. But
So who would be your ideal participant in this program?
someone who asks a lot of questions and is engaged and would like to take some more action further down the line. Yeah.
Like to support community recycling efforts, sort of thing?
And yeah, or neighborhood, you know, neighborhood associations, people who are involved in it, right? That's a great place to spend time with. I talked to a lot of the, you know, the Lions clubs, the Optimists. I've talked to most of those in Green Bay and in Decatur and Ashwaubenon over the last few years. They're actually, some are very engaged, some are not, but you know, that's also a good choice sometimes. So there are lots of options out there. There's no lack of audience. It's lack of teachers, and that's why we're trying to get to the point of getting people who can be teachers.
So when someone goes through 401, they could teach.
By the time they get to the end of 301, the goal with 401 is that they complete a 20-hour, 40-hour project. We haven't really gotten to that point yet in the community. That it, you know, of interest to them, that helps advance the educational process of recycling.
Right, so it would be people who want to get involved in activism and want more information
Yes,
would be
who are,
the ideal.
yeah, and we want to make sure that, again, it's complicated. Recycling is simple in concept and difficult in practice. And it's the practice is where everything is where it matters, because recycling is really not curbside residential recycling kind of thing, or commercial recycling is really not a great answer to waste reduction. It's okay, but it's only going to hit maybe, you know, all told, maybe 15 to 20% of all the waste that's generated can be recycled effectively in that manner. So everything else in the world, you have to find something else to do with. Organics is probably a much better way. Pulling out food waste and compost, everything else, pulling that out of the waste stream, it would have a much larger effect very quickly on waste generation and landfill.
Just that's a great message to share.
I think these guys have heard this, you know, me before, so.
The Tri-County Recycle site has a waste wizard where you
That
can look up
Yes.
your items.
Wait, I have that.
Oh, yeah,
Better
that
Bin,
is,
so
That's a
Better
better,
Bin.
there's Better Bin and well, and Better Bin has the Waste Wizard built into it as well.
that's the question mentioned in multiple past meetings before you were on.
That's what I said.
Well, I'm mentioning it again.
We have,
Let the record show.
And then if it doesn't have it in the
Maybe you
system.
can highlight it for the
and
notes
email
to
to
come
them.
later.
And then they-
We have a link to the waste.
we actually have business cards and it's on the
Okay.
recycling guide to link to the QR codes, to link to the Waste Wizard, and then the Better Bin app, which is a mobile app that allows you to scan QR the codes on
The barcode.
the barcodes, thank you, on products and let you know if they're
I like that
recyclable.
the best. It's just easy.
And you earn the best day towards gift.
Towards gift cards. I didn't know I was earning points towards gift cards. I could do this.
All
in my
right,
car.
the last two groups we haven't heard from would be marketing and public outreach and the energy working group. So I can give a quick update, and then if you have anything you want to share from the marketing group, please do so. The clean energy group is working on bringing together a few community partners to tackle like the heavier industrial, large commercial related emissions from the bucket of community-wide emissions. And so we're looking at meeting in late October with a few folks, including WPS, Focus on Energy, New North, and some folks from like NWTC and UWGB. So we'll, maybe not by next time we meet, but by the following time, hopefully we'll, by our November meeting, be able to share kind of how that went. But that's kind of what our group is focusing on right now, is tackling industrial emissions and then supporting a way to measure and quantify reductions over time toward the goal of carbon neutrality. So that's the clean energy. Jenny, anything you want to add to that?
You did a great job, Krista. Thank you.
All right. Anything from your group?
Yeah, I'm happy to speak. Julie and I just talked about the idea of a service project. You know, it's something we've kind of worked towards in the past, and I think it wasn't real successful, but are planning to do more planning to try and come up with a project that hopefully the commission can participate in, with the idea being that we would partner, you know, with another organization in doing that, and hopefully getting some of these commission members to join in whatever effort that is. So
And then we would make a press thing out of it.
yes,
basically, too.
yes.
Right. The girl I met with about the potential youth, well, not potentially more, but Youth Action Council or advisory group, one of her ideas was to do a cleanup of the, I think, Bayport High School like area around it. And she had talked to the Green Bay Conservation Corps, so that could be a way to
Okay.
kick off both
Yeah.
things, like do your
Great idea.
service concept and maybe promote it.
Was it Bayport or Preble? I thought it was Preble.
You're probably right.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
don't remember. I could find it in my notes.
Okay.
I'll trust your
I
memory.
think it was Preble. I think it was Preble.
They're kind of all the same in my
Okay.
brain.
Rebels
Non
Green Bay,
reality. Where's Bayport?
though.
Oh, well,
That's
then
why I
yes,
know
Preble.
it's for sure. Preble.
See, that's just what I know. Yes, and then it was
Kind of lined
definitely. So maybe just an opportunity there, and we can stay in touch, but maybe keep that in the back of your mind.
Great. I did just want to mention one other thing that kind of ties into, I would say, recycling and healthy habitats for all, which is forestry and the Conservation Corps have been working on creating biochar just with like woody material that they have on hand. So they have like a portable, I don't know what they call it, kind of a kiln, I guess. Okay. That, you know, they assemble right on site wherever they want to complete that work. And they've done a couple of trial runs, I know, and it went really well. So they're hoping to continue using it. I believe it's associated with grant funding, and I don't know all the details,
I
but
think it's on loan.
yes, I believe it's on loan. And then I think they're planning to use the biochar to like amend soils in certain places. I don't know exactly where. But I believe they created like 10, like the big garbage cans, are those 50-gallon or whatever, of biochar in those 2 days, that they did the trials. So I'm planning to continue it, and I guess perhaps I think a long-term goal would be for them to like be able to purchase one and sort of continue the process ongoing. So just wanted to make you aware.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Last call for work group reports or announcements. Right, then moving on to the resiliency coordinator report.
Okay, just a real short, few updates for this month. Green Bay staff from Public Works and is going to be meeting with a few representatives from the Green Bay Public School District next week, actually, to talk about green stormwater infrastructure This was a group that had started meeting shortly before the pandemic. So it's been a while, but we have new faces now in the school system and also within the stormwater utility division as well. So we're gonna talk about GSI projects and especially the projects that came out of our citywide plan, green stormwater plan to share with the school district. So we've got that going, and thank you, Ned, for putting us all back in touch with each other. And then on the East River Emily Park project, that's the wetland restoration work. I'm really in just grant mode right now for that. So there's about 6 grants that I've identified as good fits. So 4 of those are due November 1st. So it's gonna be a lot. I will be reaching out to certain people at this table for letters of support for that project, and then, but it's looking really good. I've had meetings with all of the funders and they all seem extremely enthusiastic about the project. So that's good news. Yeah. That's all I have for updates. Any questions?
Yeah, just regarding the school, the green infrastructure in the school, I'm not gonna be able to make that meeting, but thanks for the invite. Obviously, I'm very, very supportive of that moving forward in general. Just to give a little, just barely background about what I know about Milwaukee. The impetus for doing Milwaukee's public schools is because they are the largest landholder of impervious surface in general. So, and which is great, and the projects they're doing are absolutely amazing. But it is different when you start talking about the Green Bay School District, because we are like a lot of, when I remember conversations, a lot of them are next to parks in general.
Right.
So, so just to keep that in mind, like there's different reasons that we could do it, but just the,
Yeah.
you know, that is the impetus down there is.
It's really more, I
So-
think this initial meeting is really for all the new faces to meet each other and then to show the work products that we got from the GSI plan, so that if there are projects that are happening within the school district, that they have something to go to potentially as a good fit.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I also saw Baird Elementary put up a really not attractive stormwater pond with a fence around it at their entrance. So of a brand new school. So with a chain link fence around it. And that's their entrance. So I would love to see the kind of projects they're doing in Milwaukee come up here. So
Yeah.
but yeah. Great. And then sorry, one quick question around funding for the projects. Do you think you are found enough funders to actually for implementation
Are you talking about for the East River
for the Emily Park?
Emily Park Wetland
Yeah.
for Resiliency Project?
Yes.
That's what it's called. Yeah, I think so. I mean, with my funding matrix that I put together, if all the stars align and everyone says yes, then yes, we would have enough.
Is there any city match required, or
Oh,
do
yeah.
you have enough grant funding?
No, there'll be city match involved and then we're leveraging other grants as match. So it's a puzzle.
But you have a matrix.
Yes, it's a puzzle right now. And I have a couple of backups too. But those would be for like 2025 mid-year, depending on what we find out. So,
Did you ask because you have ideas? Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm for sure
curious.
gonna be sending it out to a couple of people like within your work group, just say, am I missing anything here? Because it's always good to have a second set of eyes, and I already have like 5 sets of eyes on it right now within the city. You know, like Dan's been great, he's been sending me information, grant information. You know, like, don't forget about the stewardship grants.
Okay.
They're a heavy lift though.
Yep.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so it's, I'm very positive about this.
Thank you.
Anything else for Melissa? All right, then, final announcement, our next Sustainability Commission meeting is October 16th, 5 p.m. And with that, we have come to the point of adjournment. Does anyone have a motion?
I move to adjourn.
Thank you. Anyone second?
I second.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Adjourn.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
I did print off the